Welcome back. Turning our attention to our Health 360 segment, with work, school, family commitments, and daily responsibilities competing for our time, many people say finding time to exercise is easier said than done. But fitness experts argue that staying active doesn't necessarily require hours in the gym or expensive equipment. Whether it's a quick home workout or a simple beginning routine, there are ways to prioritize health even on the busiest of schedules. To discuss how people can build sustainable fitness habits, we're joined by Dura Body Fitness Gym owner Andrew Francis. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Now, many people say, they simply don't have that time to exercise. So what is your response to that?
Well, at the end of the day, people make time for the things that are most important to them, right? If they see their health and their fitness levels as something that is a priority to them, then they'll make the time to do it, because really and truly, it only takes for the bare minimum, half an hour to 40 minutes out of your day, right? So we don't want to reach a stage where a doctor is mandating you to go and get on a health and fitness regime for whatever reason, health reason, right? So I would suggest that people understand the importance of their health in with respect to their fitness, to prevent that, doctor telling them, you need to start because you're going to end up with some sort of health issue.
Wow. And on a regular, or on an average, how much exercise does that average person, actually need each week to maintain good health?
Well, the textbook answer to that is basically 20 to 30 minutes 3 times a week, right? To me, that's the minimum to start to see some sort of positive effect, right? To me, I think ideally you want to look at maybe 40 to 45 minutes, each session 3 to 4 times a week, right? Again, it depends on the level that you're starting at and all these sorts of things.
And I love how you pointed out that level you're starting at. So for someone with a packed schedule, what's that best way, for them to start a fitness journey?
Get a friend, right? That more or less has same or similar mindset to you.
Right.
Or maybe somebody who might be a little bit more experienced to push you along, right? Especially if you're someone that can give up easily.
Yeah.
If it, not because you're a weak-minded person, but because maybe you might start a little too high and, get overwhelmed and things like that. So they say that it's always easier to go through exercise and to go through exercise regime in a social environment,
yes,
right? In a group or with a friend or with a couple of friends and stuff like that. It makes it easier, right? And that is very true. In my gym, that's how we kind of try to motivate and push persons to come and exercise, because we do it mainly in a group atmosphere with, enjoyable music and that sort of stuff. So it takes away the perceived difficulty of working out.
Wow. And would you say short workouts throughout the day can be as effective as one long gym session?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I personally, and everyone's different,
yes,
right? I don't prescribe in a long gym session, hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours and stuff like that. Now, there are instances where that is necessary, right? For example, athletes or, bodybuilders, fitness professionals and these sorts of stuff, they may require longer sessions because of the amount of work they have to put in and stuff like that, right? But for the average Joe, beginners, things like that, that's not necessary, right? That tends to be overkill in a lot of respects, right? But like I said, 20 minutes, half an hour, even they found 50-minute sessions can be as beneficial if done periodically, twice a day is really the most that most people can handle, right? Especially if it's a busy person.
Yes.
But that it can be just as effective,
And along the lines of, what are some of the realistic fitness goals for busy professionals, parents, or even students can have?
Again, I think that's really based on what they're looking for, right? So just basically for someone to be able to say that they've gotten through a 20-minute workout, of half an hour workout, right? The intensity or the type of workout that they're doing. Usually, I try to encourage persons to take the small wins, right? They may have, let's say we do an exercise for 30 seconds.
Right.
They may only be able to do that exercise at the start 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and we try to push, 30 seconds, we're going for 30 seconds, until eventually you get to that point and then you realize, well, hey, I did it for 30 seconds. So there's some sort of improvement there.
Yes.
Right? And those are the small wins really that, persons who now start in fitness, beginners and stuff like that, need to look at and accept that, hey, this is a process, right?
Yeah.
So that's the sort of things that I recommend.
Thanks for mentioning that, and I liked how you put it, basically. How would you, let persons know that they can fit that exercise into their daily routine without it feeling overwhelmed?
Again, you want to go through a regime that, one, that you enjoy or like, right? There's nothing more of a turn-off than you are doing an exercise that you find really taxing and really difficult, that you don't enjoy doing, either because somebody is making you do it, or you figure, well, this is the in thing, right? Or I saw on Instagram that this is a really effective exercise, and you either find it really difficult or it's painful, right? You might have some sort of pre-existing injury or issue that prevents you from doing that particular movement or exercise. So those sorts of things is what I would try to stay away from, right? So you want to try to find something that you enjoy doing, that you find challenges you, but in a way that you see the challenge to overcome, right? That's really the major way that I believe.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And now for a fun question. Do people really need a gym membership to get fit?
Well, being a gym owner, ideally I would like to say yes.
Yeah.
But the real answer is, not necessarily, right? With Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and everything that's out there now for persons to be able to access. There's all sorts of home workouts that is out there for persons to do. I myself on my YouTube channel have workouts that persons can do at home, right? The limiting factor really and truly is the equipment that you have, right? And the goal that you have in mind that you want to achieve. Some goals, for example, weight loss, right? You don't need a whole big set of equipment, right? Walking is one of the most effective ways to lose weight, right? And that's why, I mean, I know I'm straying from the question, but that's why persons in a office job or a job that requires them to sit a lot,
Yeah.
you know, it's always recommended, you know, get up, move around
Yes.
periodically throughout the day, right? Not only helps with, you know, your posture, your back, you know,
Yeah.
but it gets you moving, gets the metabolism going, and, you know, things like that, right? But it comes down to the individual,
Yeah.
right? Some people can be internally motivated, and they can do it on their own by themselves at
Right.
home. They can pull up something on YouTube and do it,
Yeah.
right? Some people don't feel as confident to do that and want help, right? So, yeah, join a gym, get that help, right? As I said before, some people need a little social element
Yes.
to be able to motivate them to push through a workout, right? It varies, but the short answer to your question is no. They don't necessarily need a gym membership to achieve goals and, you know, fitness results and stuff like that. But it obviously helps.
Absolutely. And I love how you mentioned about the equipment at home. Persons can still work out based on what really works for them. But in an instance where there is no equipment, what are some of the effective exercises that can be done at home without any equipment? And we're going to give them some brackets, because again, it really depends on the person's goal. So for someone who may just want to be toned, or someone who is trying to maintain or get to that weight loss, that right, you know, weight they'd want to be, and then also someone who wants to gain weight. So maybe you can touch on those three.
Okay, so someone who wants to tone, you want to, that's really based on moving weights,
Yeah.
right? And there's no, how to put it, better weight than your body weight, right? Calisthenics, which is body weight exercises,
Right.
are some of the best ways that persons can tone, right? Because many people can have the strength to move objects and to move weights and
Right.
stuff like that, but to do push-ups, many people find that difficult, right? And to become proficient at doing push-ups has a profound effect on your body,
Right.
okay, in terms of toning your muscles and stuff like that. So there are many body weight exercises that persons can do at home that have that sort of effect, right? Again, it depends on the reps and the sets, how many times you carry out the exercise, basically, and things like that, right? How much rest you get in between each exercise. And that's kind of generic to all your goals, really, right? If, for example, if you want to lose weight, mainly fat, you want to take your heart rate up, okay? So, you know, jumping jacks, jogging on the spot, a lot of big muscle movements, right? Up and down stairs, that sort of stuff. Those are really good ways to take your body through a sort of fat loss exercise program, right? And then the last group you say?
Gaining weight.
Gaining weight.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably the hardest one of all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, a caveat to all of this is, you know, your diet obviously plays the most important role in whatever your fitness goal is, right? And probably, I don't want to say more so, but I guess they're all just as important as each other. But to gain weight, and I guess we're talking about gaining muscle, right? Again, your diet, you know, how much ideally protein that you're taking in. There's a big push on, you know, calorie deficit, calorie gain, and that sort of stuff in terms of nutrition and how it affects your fitness goals and stuff like that, which plays a major role in it, right? But to gain muscle is all about moving heavy weight, right? do you have that heavy weight at home? I guess for beginners, it doesn't have to be 80, 90, 100-pound dumbbells or weights or stuff like that, right? Unless you're just generally a big, strong guy.
Right.
Weights in itself is an expensive investment, right? If you can afford it, go for it, right? Again, go for a program that suits your level.
Yeah.
Is the most important thing, really, because there's no bigger turn-off than someone who starts an exercise regime and then the day after, or more so 2 days after, they feel really, really sore. Yeah. And they don't know how to navigate through that soreness. And they decide, well, now, boy, I can't go through this right now.
Yeah.
So 4, 5, 6 days pass before they feel comfortable enough to go again. So some people don't go through that.
Right.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Right? The majority of persons can undo, and they have to understand that they have to vary the type of workout that they do so that they allow the muscles, the body to recover while still being able to exercise and go through a fitness regime.
And I feel like you touched on it a bit, but what mistakes do beginners, commonly make when trying to get fit?
You try to follow somebody fitter than you. Yeah. So let's say, for example, you go to your gym with your friend,
right,
who is an avid gym goer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you try to keep up with them. And no, that's where you suffer the soreness after.
Yes.
Probably more so than you would have, right? Or let's say you following someone on social media, and you do exercises that may not necessarily allow you to fulfill your personal goals, right? But because it's something that looks like it could be effective, it may not be right for you, okay? So some sort of consultation, if not with a fitness trainer or somebody in the gym, or professional, at least someone who is knowledgeable, that can guide you, give you some sort of advice, right, is probably the best way that a beginner should go about it.
Absolutely. And again, that motivation line, how can someone stay motivated when they don't see immediate results? And just to add in a bit more to this, immediate results within that 3 months, because I feel like most people tell you within 3 months you should start to see something. So how to stay motivated when that 3 months mark pass and you don't see anything at all happening?
That's a tough one because 3 months is a long time.
It
It's a long investment to put into starting a program and committing to doing it and stuff like that. Again, you have to look at, okay, is the program I'm going through right for me? Are the other effects of my life affecting my results in terms of, like I said before, your diet and nutrition plays a very important role, right? Many persons, let's say, that want to lose weight, they start a fitness program, and then when they finish, they eat the wrong things, right? Which more or less can negatively affect, I should say, the work that they're putting in, right? That is usually a big part of it, right? Do they have the knowledge or the discipline to be able to deny themselves certain indulgences, right? Usually that is the biggest issue with persons who not see any results after 3 months, let's say, right? There are persons who do everything correct. They eat well and they get rest, they exercise, probably more than the average,
Yes.
right? But they're still not seeing results. Then, you have to look at, okay, is it a health issue, right? Maybe they may need to just go and get a little checkup, blood tests,
Right.
maybe there might be an underlying factor that they don't know about,
Yeah.
right? So there's a lot to take into consideration
It is.
about wanting to see a certain line of results
Yeah.
when you start exercising.
Wow. Just wow. And for a complete beginner, what would a simple 15 to 20 minutes daily workout look like?
Again, if we're talking about a home workout, I assume,
Yeah.
right? A little 3-4 minute warm up, jogging on the spot, doing some jumping jacks, a little what we call mobility work in terms of swinging out your legs and your
Right.
shoulders, and just getting your joints and your muscles ready, right, to prevent any sort of injury or pull or anything like that. I always advise going through some sort of body weight workout,
Yeah.
right? Because there's ways in which you can make it harder or make it easier, right? Based on your level and based on your ability and things like that. I also believe that going through exercise workout for time.
Yeah.
So, for example, you're doing push-ups for 30 seconds, let's say, right? As many as you could do, right? That way, you can track how much you do, what's the improvement looking like, right? After 2 weeks, I did 10 push-ups in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I went from 10 to 12. I went from 12 to 20, things like that,
Yeah.
right? So let's say, okay, you do a 3 to 5 minute warm up, and then you can go through 30 seconds each exercise of push-ups, squats, jogging on the spot or sprinting on the spot, lunges,
Yeah.
Those sorts of body weight exercises you can do for time, and you get a 2 to 3 minute rest, and you can do 3, 4, 5 sets, how much ever that you feel you can handle, right? A complete beginner might only be able to do 2 sets of, let's say, 5 to 6 body weight exercises, right? Again, I don't want to put a stipulation on time of working out, right? Because essentially it's how much you can manage,
Yeah.
right? How much your body could take and things like that. But again, I say, well, like my exercises that I have on DuraBody's channel,
Yeah.
right? Usually those workouts are anywhere between 25 to 40 minutes long,
Okay.
right? And persons can go on, check out the channel, go through the exercises. It carries you through a full warm-up workout and cool-down stretch,
Nice.
right? So those are really the elements that you want to make sure you stick to, right? To have an effective workout.
Yeah. And you have mentioned the nutrition part of it before and the importance it plays. So let's talk about rest or sleep. What role does sleep play in fitness and overall wellness for persons?
Sleep is really, really important,
Yeah.
right? Something that I wish I got more of, but
Oh gosh.
yeah, but no, in terms of recovery,
Yeah.
it's one of the most important aspects to
Okay.
recovery, especially persons who, let's say, want to build muscle, like you had asked before, right? On average, persons should have between 7 to 9 hours of sleep, right, every night. And they found that, really deep sleep is where your growth hormones come into play in terms of building muscle and recovery from exercise and things like that, right? That's where it's most effective and most active, right? During that time of your sleep, deep REM sleep, right? It also affects your stamina and endurance, right? So maybe persons who want to lose that fat, they need that sort of stamina and endurance to push through for as long as possible.
Yes.
Right? So your sleep affects that.
Okay.
Obviously, getting a good night's sleep, feeling rested and that sort of stuff affects your mood
Yes,
and your
it does.
emotions, your psyche and stuff like that. So that plays a big role in how you feel towards going into exercise. You know, you might just tell yourself, if you didn't get enough sleep, no boy, I can't make that one today. I feel too tired. I'm just not in the frame of mind to do that.
Yes.
Right? So these are the major areas. I mean, there's other aspects to it, but those are the major areas really that sleep, good sleep, you know, affects.
Wow. I know a lot of persons are probably home taking down good sleep, so make sure sleep before, sleep after, sleep.
Well, some people oversleep, but you know.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing and a conversation for another time, you know. But what's one small change people or persons can make today that would have a big impact on their health over time?
I'm not going to talk about exercise.
Okay.
Drinking water. That's a simple one,
Yeah.
but a very effective one.
Wow.
That affects your health over a sustained period of time. I mean, many people just don't drink enough water.
Yes.
And I mean, there's all sorts of drinks out there, you know, cran water. I'm not putting on anybody's product there, but I'm just saying that people think that drinking anything other than water is sufficient. And it might say, okay, you are staying hydrated, but drinking products that have sugar or sugar-like substances in it, you know, it takes away from just drinking pure water, right? To me, that is just something very simple, but yet very effective, that persons can change immediately, right? That will affect their health now, will affect their health in the future, etc. But that is especially, you know, these days when it's very hot, right? And very dusty and everything like that, you know, you want to stay properly hydrated as much as possible.
And now even to push, what is the amount or the average amount of water someone should consume daily?
Again, the textbook answer would be probably 1.5 to 2 liters of water every day, right? Minimum, right? I mean, your body is made up of over 70%, 80% water. So you need to take in that much to ensure that, you know, your body stays hydrated and all of that. I would say safely probably 2.5 liters a day, right? Yeah. But you want to spread it out throughout the whole day.
Yes, of course.
Right? A lot of people just drink. They don't drink for like, 3-4 hours, be it work and whatever, right?
Of course.
And then they gulp down a whole load in 15 minutes or 10 minutes while maybe having lunch or whatever. But what happens is that your body can only absorb a certain amount at a time. And it's not just a matter of ingesting the water, but it's a matter of your body absorbing the water, right? Because in your brain, it has a switch, right? And when the water level gets too high, switch goes on, and then you have to get rid of the excess water. Right? So it's not, and again, it affects people differently in different ways and stuff like that. Some people could drink a lot of water and really doesn't have much effect on them. Some people could only handle a certain amount of water and then they run into the toilet every 2 minutes, right? So it's more about drinking, let's say, a small bottle of water. What size is that? 250 or? Probably that amount every hour, every hour and a half. Right? You drink that amount of water. That should be safe enough for you to be able to absorb it without having to run to get rid of it a lot. Right? I mean, again, but this is something that people have to get accustomed to and work their way up to.
Definitely.
Right? Because it's what your body is accustomed to. Right? So you more or less train in your body to handle these changes that you're trying to put on it.
Definitely. Now, thank you, Andrew, so much for coming on and being a part of this discussion. I do believe, coming down to the second half as well, that conversation with water, a lot of persons may have it, but never really went too in-depth on, it's not just about consuming, but letting your body get that time to really absorb it.
Correct.
So that was very informative and insightful with what you shared today.
Thank you.
So thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, we are about to take another short break, and when we come back, we have another engaging segment for you, so stay with us.